And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Friday, January 5th. I am Josh Engleman here to break down, depends on what slate you're playing on, an 11-game slate on DraftKings. They dropped the 10 o'clock games. FanDuel dropped the 9 and 10 o'clock games. So different size slates across different sites. But since DraftKings has more than FanDuel, you'll get all of them on this show. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. What is up, everybody? Closing out the week. Friday, January 5th. First week of the year in the books already, or at least it will be. It will be shortly. So I did not play last night. I don't really have anything to add. Obviously, 2 games late, no big deal. I will add this little note, though. I just saw it. I want to repeat it. Nikola Jokic is 39 for his last 44 from the field. In his last 4 games, Jokic has only missed 5 shots. He was 13 of 16 last night, 6 of 7 the night before, 9 for 10 against the Thunder, and 11 for 11 against Memphis. 5 shots, including the banked-in 40-foot winner last night against the Warriors. I love this dude, man. Love it, love it, love it. But today, we got a lot to break down. I got nothing else to say. And Larry C. wants me to get started. No long preamble this morning, Josh. 11 games and I need some caffeine. Larry, I'm going to help you out. Cheers to you guys. Coffee is here. I want it just as bad as you guys do. We had people over last night. I went to bed at a pretty reasonable time, but I am tired. I'm tired. Let's put this out there. I made some exceptional food last night. Mushroom risotto. A plus tier. Amazing. Amazing. So let's get some coffee in us. Coffee, tea, water, beer, joints, food, whatever you have. We are closing out the week. Rise and grind. Got a little Band-Aid on the finger. Cut it while I was prepping food yesterday. Like a boss. Cheers, everybody. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, Larry, pressure cooker. Oh, it was good. I bought like 2.5 pounds worth of assorted mushrooms. There were mushrooms in there that I didn't even recognize. Wild looking dudes. But man, was it phenomenal. Here we go. Ooh, let's zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. That should be good. Alrighty then. First game up. I gotta pull up the injury report yet too. A little behind. I'm not moving as well as I would have liked this morning. So the coffee will help. The coffee will play quite a large role in bringing me back to neutral. All right. Utah Jazz, 14-point underdogs in Boston, 239 total. Jazz have everybody normally available is available. For Boston, Q tag on Al Horford. Otherwise, we're good to go. So we can start on the Utah side, which honestly is getting to be difficult, particularly in a situation where they're 14-point dogs, because then you really don't have a great feel for who's going to get the rotations you want. But I think I'm going to be largely okay. So Jordan Clarkson played 33 minutes in regulation. I think the best that I can do is like 28 or 29. I'm going to go to 28. I don't think it'll matter. I don't think it'll matter. Because I can't imagine we're getting to these guys. Like, I'm guessing Jordan Clarkson's price went up. It's not going to make him look better against Boston. So I'm going to go to 28 because I think it's live for him to not have a closing rotation. If it were a closer game, I would probably go 29 or 30. Keontae George Now, his is sort of the opposite problem. I'm going to take him down to 25. I'll take Agbaji down 1. It's not like we're going to be playing him. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that we just aren't getting Utah. So we'll evaluate. I might dig into their minutes a little deeper after I look at the evaluation. Right now, I have everybody in for the Boston side. Clearly, we could lose Al Horford here. I don't mind the Hauser minutes or the Pritchard minutes. I got 33 for White. That feels about right. 34 for Drew. Fine. Probably should be 36 on Tatum. It's not. We'll go 37. We'll go 34 on Brown. I got 32 for Porzingis. Yeah, like I'm pretty well happy with everything I have here. I guess Cornette's been playing a little bit more. Not that I feel like that's a likely scenario. Yeah, I guess Hauser's been playing a lot less as of late. Let's do something like that. And then let's look at this Utah game because, yeah, as I expected, they don't look great. We've got, Walker Kessler's okay. He played about 24 minutes last time out. I got 25. Markkanen is okay. But I think that we can pretty safely ignore Utah on a day like today. Like if you get like Markkanen as the last guy in, I think it's fine. But nobody wants a matchup against the number 22 team in pace in Boston, the number 3 rated defense at full strength. We can skip Utah and feel good about it. For Boston, it does look like it's a Tatum day, if it's anything. 9,700 small forward, power forward. We just need him to be able to play. I'm going to take a minute away. His points prop is 26.5. So I do think that I need to soften the edges a little bit just because of the matchup. So that makes it less of a Tatum day and more of a pick anyone from Porzingis, Holiday, Tatum, Brown, and White day. Because now all of those points props look a little bit better. I don't think we'll prioritize anything from Boston because it's too hard. But you will feel a lot better grabbing one of those starters than anything from Utah. Now we get into the real one. The Atlanta Hawks are 3.5-point underdogs in Indiana. 263 total. This is 23 points more than the game we just talked about, which is essentially the second highest total. Let me repeat that for those of you that didn't hear what I just said. The Atlanta-Indiana game has a total 23 points higher than the second highest total. What? What are we talking about here? That is ludicrous. Ludicrous. Hawks have everybody available except for Hunter, which we know. Pacers have the Q tag on Bruce Brown and Andrew Nembhard, so that dance is happening again. Lucky for us, it's a 7 o'clock start, so we don't have to care too much in the prep of it all. We can get it done and make the changes that we need at 6:30 tonight. So for Atlanta, I've got 38 minutes in for Trae Young. I think that is a very realistic projection for where he has been lately. 34 for Bay. I went 27-22 Capella Okongwu. That was basically what they did last time out. Do I want to go back down to 21 on Okongwu? Feels like I do. I will. Trent Forrest played over Patty Mills this last time out, so we'll move those Patty Mills minutes to Trent Forrest. But the Atlanta rotation isn't going anywhere. The Indiana rotation, unfortunately, we do need to get Nembhard back in there, which I assume comes at the expense of TJ McConnell. We got 28 out of Bruce Brown in the return. Buddy Hield is dead in this rotation, it seems. Let's see. I think 27 for Mathurin is a little high. I'm going to go down to 26. We need to think through the Jalen Smith, Isaiah Jackson piece, which I think is going to be fine. 28 for Nesmith, I'm okay with. I'm going to go to 28 on Bruce Brown. I'm going to maintain 20 on Buddy Hield, but that scares me. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to go down to 18 on Buddy Hield and take Toppin up to 22. Where do I hide that last minute? That is a tricky minute to hand out. I don't know why they hate Buddy Hield so much now. He's probably their second best player. All right, I will hide that final minute on TJ. I like this so much better when I don't have to make rotational changes. 10-1 for Trey certainly stands out. I mean, these guys are the points props on these guys are going to be massive. Just absolutely massive. Trey's at 29.5, where I have him. DeJounte's at 21.5. That's where I have him. Jalen Johnson's at 17.5. I have 16.5. Still looks good. I like Trey. I like Jalen Johnson. I would happily get Bogdanovich, Murray, Bay. You know, you could always take a shot at Clint Capella. Okongwu is doesn't look like a good play, but because of the power forward eligibility, he becomes a slightly more interesting backup center. No overwhelming priorities from Atlanta because they haven't had any major rotational changes, but any piece you get to that plays 24 minutes or more, you'll feel pretty good about. For Indy, love Halliburton. I got him in 26 points. That looks fine. I really like Miles Turner for 6,800. We're going to hope that we get one of Nembhard or Brown out just to free up a little bit more value and playing time. Look at this. 5,500 Nesmith, 5,300 Nembhard, 57 Mathurin, 53 Brown, 54 Hield. We don't have to worry about. 5,200 Jalen Smith, even $4,600 Toppin. All those prices are manageable, but none are great. The long and short of it is, don't be afraid to get to this game. There are going to be a lot of fantasy points scored. There will be 30 less real points projected in Oklahoma City and Brooklyn. The Thunder are 5-point favorites in Brooklyn, 234 total. For OKC, normal rotation stuff for them. Lonnie Walker probable, DSJ probable. So it looks like we're getting Lonnie Walker back on the Brooklyn side. For the OKC side, we got 20 minutes out of Lindy Waters. I don't imagine that's continuing. Why did Kenrich Williams not play? I don't imagine that's continuing either. I'm leaving this rotation because we're not playing the bench dudes. We're just playing SGA, who I've got in already. Dort, minutes are good. Jalen Williams, minutes are good. Giddey's minutes are going to go down 1. And then Chet at 31. You know, I can make a case that should be 30. Now, Brooklyn, we need to work back in Lonnie Walker. I think. Don't we? Although he has not played in at least a month. Is he going to play today? He should, right? But who's he going to play over? Where do those minutes come from? We're going to bring Dinwiddie down to 31. I feel okay with those DSJ minutes, but maybe that comes down a little bit. Claxton for 30. That's certainly becoming 29. Day'Ron Sharp, 18. I'm okay with. 29 for Dorian Finney-Smith. Absolutely coming down to that one. Go down to 26. 30 for Cam Johnson, I'm okay with. 36 for Bridges, I'm okay with. $20 for Royce O'Neal. Now that seems low. Bump him up to 23. Then I can hide 4 minutes on Walker. Again, I don't expect those kind of things to matter. Cam Thomas playing a little bit less as of late, too. Take 2 more minutes off of him. We're not going to get much out of Brooklyn. We know the guys we're going to roster here. It's a pretty easy game to project. SGA at 10-4. Add him to the list of 9K, 10K point guards that are going to be really difficult to sift through. Chet, 7,600. Dort, 5K. All of that looks all right at best. $7,100 for Bridges. Shooting guard, small forward. I'm a fan of that, but he has not been playing well. Points prop for Bridges is 20.5. I got him at 22.5. Let's knock that usage rate down a hair. There's nothing here for Brooklyn. It's all, Cam Johnson can be in a lineup. Dinwiddie can be in a lineup. Claxton can be in a lineup. I just don't know why you would care. We're through 3 games already. Now we go to Washington. We're running this one back. Wizards 10-point dogs in Cleveland, 240 total. We just saw this one. It didn't work out for me that time. Q tag on Landry Shamet. Same people that are normally available that are available today. So we're not moving this one around all that much. Gallo just out of the rotation now. Muscala playing quite a bit more. I got 27 for Gafford. Did they chop those minutes? No. What about here? Yes. What about here? Yes. I think we project Mike Muscala for like 19 minutes. We've got Denny in for 28. 30 for Tyus Jones. That could be 29. 31 for Poole. That could be 30 for sure. 14 for Shamet. 21 for Kispert. Yeah, that 20 for Kispert, I guess. Koulibaly. They continue to play a little bit more than I would expect. Right. I can give. I'll take 1 more minute. I don't think we're going to be liking Washington against Cleveland, but that's no surprise. Now, we will be liking Cleveland against Washington, I would guess. But what do we need to move around here for Cleveland? 37 minutes for Mitchell seemed fine, but like maybe it's not, but like it is. So that's the problem. 34 for Allen, I'm going to keep that. 34 for Strus, I'm going to keep that. 29 for Isaac Okoro. I'm going to walk that back a bit. 22 for Dean Wade. Doesn't really matter. I guess we need to give Sam Merrill more minutes. Where do all the minutes come from? That is the trivia question. 18 for Merrill looks fine. I just hope we're not getting him. I really do. Kuzma down to 7,800. That is an appealing price tag. The problem is, I got to take a minute away from him. I can't project him for 34 minutes any longer. That's mildly too aggressive. So I'm going to go down to 33. I like the price on Kuzma. He's definitely the best Wizard you can get to. I think Jordan Poole is okay. Like when those games are going to be... like when the Wizards are having a chance to win a game, Poole's probably playing all right. But Kuzma's the best Wizard. It's not anything special. I would like a lot of Donovan Mitchell once again. I'm going to go ahead and assume that his points prop does not look as good as I have it projected. 30.5 to the over. I have 31. No. We are jamming Donovan Mitchell. today. I love Donovan Mitchell here. His points prop's 30.5, juice to the over. His assist prop is 6.5, juice to the over. I have 6.3. The points, if you're looking at just the betting market, then Donovan Mitchell, I might have Donovan Mitchell under projected, and he's already the clear, by a mile, best thing that we've looked at in these first 4 games. I like Jared Allen at 8,300 as well. Okoro and Strus are fine. Merrill at 3,900 is not someone that I anticipate getting to. Take that for what it's worth. All right, we're through 4 games. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Don't be afraid to sign up at Stochastic. Stochastic.com/join. Projections, ownership, Sims tool, lineup generator, anything you want on the NBA side, weekly and monthly, we can get that done. If you want more than NBA, we've got other sports. New York Knicks, 6.5-point underdogs in Philadelphia. 227 total. So we got these new look Knicks. It's actually a pretty important one to project, I think. I don't know what the pricing is done just yet. We got 37 minutes in for Jalen Brunson. I've got 37 minutes in for Julius Randle. I've got 36 in for OG Anunoby. I am going to make that 35. They are continuing to play Miles McBride, which I like to see. Quentin Grimes playing that 18 minutes a night. DiVincenzo played 25 both nights. Josh Hart playing around 28. I think I'm okay there. Hartenstein, I got in for 33. I'm going 34. I'm going to hate doing that. I have a sneaky suspicion today is a Precious Achiuwa day because Embiid fouls up Isaiah Hartenstein. That is not actionable information. It is not in any way actionable. Randall's points prop is 27.5 juice to the over. Brunson's is 26.5 juice to the over. I'm going to go out on a limb and say these guys shoot a little bit more when RJ Barrett isn't around. RJ Barrett off. Randall playing. And Brunson playing. Not that we don't already know this, but it seems like it's even higher than I thought it was. Clearly, the usage goes up for these guys, but Randall is at 30.5%. And then Brunson is at 29.25. So I'll bump both of those guys up. That still didn't get Randall as high as I think he should be. I should be up around 28. I'm still a 1.5 short. Is the assumption that Randall's going to be playing 38? It is now. So that bumps up Randall. What's his rebound prop? I got him at 9. Oh, yeah. We're in good shape now. We're in good shape now. Let's check out the Philly side. Actually, I got to look at the injury report, too. Might help if I find out if these guys are even playing. Knicks are good. Malachi Flynn, questionable. I guess Malachi Flynn could become Miles McBride. I just doubt it does. Sixers, Q-Tag Covington, Q-Tag Korkmaz. Still no DeAnthony Melton. Melton missed that last game on the 2nd. So I'm going to pull all of the minutes for guys I don't give a shit about. So we got 37 in for Maxey. I think that's something that happens in a matchup like this. 31 for Oubre seems too high. So I'm going to 29, which means today is the day that Kelly Oubre plays way more. 34 for Joel Embiid. Gonna have to work. 14 minutes for Paul Reed. Good. Nick Batum played 22. I'm going to go to 24. I got 35 for Toby. Feels right in a competitive matchup. Now we get the Patrick Beverly minutes. Beverly, we're going to take up to 18. We got 21 out of Jaden Springer. Sort of how I expected him to. We're only going 12 for right now. We're going to finish off with Marcus Morris. Plays about 16 to 18 minutes a night. We're going to get, I guess, Robert Covington or Daniel House, one of the two. Take Springer up a little bit more. And I'm just going to split between House and Covington. I really don't think they care. And it's not fantasy relevant. Knicks. Yeah, 8,800 for Randall. I mean, if we're expecting him to be playing these big minutes, the points are there. The rebounds are there. He's just shy of a double-double projection. Tough matchup, though, obviously. I like Brunson for 8,600. He's fine. Hartenstein's fine at 6K. With Anunoby at 6,200 now, we don't really have to worry too much there. For Philly, if you're going anywhere, it's Embiid. I got him at 1.8 fantasy points per minute. It's hard to go higher than that. But, you know, maybe I can bump up his points prop a little bit more. I've also got him at 10 boards and 5 assists. Rebounding prop is 11.5 juice to the under. Bump it up slightly. And then the assist prop is at 5.5 to the over. So I've got that one right. Look, if you want to get to Embiid, go ahead. 11.5, gonna look great. Maxey down to 8,500 now. There's certainly a ceiling there. And how are the Knicks in transition? This strikes me as a team that would not be a great transition team. Let's look that up quickly. Play context. Shout out cleaning the glass. Defensive transition. Okay, they're not the worst. They're 19th in transition. Off steals, it's 19th. Off of live rebounds, 23rd. This is a little bit better of a spot for someone like Maxey. So I like him a little. Tobias Harris is a tough sell. Everybody else is really a tough sell. 5,800 for Oubre is worth a flyer. He won't be owned. Charlotte Hornets. 8.5 point underdogs in Chicago. 222 total. Just to put this one out there. The next game will be worse, but I will reference it here. This game has a total 41 points less than Atlanta, Indiana. The next game will be 44 points less. It is close to impossible to like things in these games without dramatic pricing mistakes. Alrighty, for the Hornets. Gordon Hayward's still out. Mark Williams now just out. So shout out to the Hornets for just fixing that. We get Brandon Miller back. So let's project this team out the way that we know how. That's going to be 36 minutes to Terry Rozier. That will be 30 minutes to Brandon Miller. That's going to be 29 minutes to Nick Richards. Then we'll get PJ Washington in for his 28. Nathan Mensah is going to play a little bit, but we'll handle those minutes in a second. Let's first get Bridges in for his 37. We want to get Cody Martin in for what? 24. We get Ish, backup point guard at a minimum. We get Bryce McGowan's playing 21 minutes. So now we got to get what? Nick Smith and Mensah splitting 23. That is perfect. We'll get Mensah in for 11. And then I'll get Nick Smith in for 12. Boom. No other changes need to be made. For Chicago. Oh boy, what's going on here for the Bulls? Q tag on Zach LaVine. Q tag on Nikola Vucevic. Probable tag on Patrick Williams. Okay, so we're gutting this whole team. And we're getting back to business. We're going to go 35 to Kobe White. LaVine coming back off a right foot inflammation. We'll go 30. We will maintain 36 for DeMar DeRozan. Patrick Williams in for 30. We'll get Vooch in for 30. Drummond in for 18. The rest of this is going to fill itself out, but I can't imagine we're playing Chicago, no matter how this shakes out. So the rest of these idiots, I think we get Caruso back to like 24. Still very live to close games. Not going to be playing him, I would imagine. I guess we get Javon Carter in for some chunk of minutes. We get Ayo Dosunmu in for some relatively tiny chunk of minutes. And then I'll just hide 2 minutes on anybody, really. Do we have points props on these guys? I'm guessing no. Yeah, no shot. So let's just go to Chicago and grab the usage rates when all 3 guys play. Actually, we'll go 4 guys. So DeRozan, Vooch, LaVine, Kobe White. When all 4 of these guys start, which is a decent enough sample time in the year, even though they've had injuries. That's still 17 games. They're 5-12 in those games, by the way. LaVine is at 25.5. Vooch is at 22. DeRozan is at 25.5. And Kobe White is at 20. Let's just see what that looks like. So for Charlotte, because remember, this is a nice matchup for the Bulls. Bridges, Richards, Rozier, they're the only 3 guys you should play. I don't even think you're going to play them a lot. On the Bulls side, if everybody is in, you could like kind of sneak some shares of DeRozan or Patrick Williams. LaVine's 7K. You don't trust those minutes. You can't play Vooch, I don't think. Drummond, obviously, at 8,300 is going to be a tough sell. It's just not a great game, and that 222 total certainly isn't helping. Speaking of totals that aren't helping, great game here. Minnesota, 3.5-point favorites in Houston, but a 219 total. I'll say it once again. That's a 219 total to the Minnesota Timberwolves and Houston Rockets, and a 263 total to Atlanta and Indiana. That is stark, I would say. Minnesota looks to have the normal rotation. And they do. Houston, Tari Eason questionable. So we kind of know what we're doing here. Jordan McLaughlin now playing both of these last 2 games. I got 35 for Gobert. Definitely bringing that down after that last game. His big minutes just disappeared. So we'll go to 34. We'll maintain 21 on Naz Reid. I got Towns at 32. Slow-mo 22. Slow-mo 22 can come down. 31 for McDaniels. That can hold. 37 for Edwards. Sure. 17 for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Okay. I'm going to take 1 more minute away from Kyle Anderson and give it to to Jordan McLaughlin. I think we're okay here for Minnesota. There's no way we're going to like anything from these teams. For Houston, we need to put back Tari Eason. So once again, I'm going to cut this entire rotation to make it faster. Minutes for Fred VanVleet coming back down. We'll go 37. Get Jalen Green in for 30. Jayshawn Tate in for 27. Jabari Smith in for 31. Alperen Şengün in for 32. They've had so many guys out lately. I'm going to go mostly backup center run to Jeff Green. Get Tari Eason in for his 26. We get Aaron Holiday in for backup point guard run and then a couple extra minutes. Amin Thompson now has played decent run in both of his last 2 games. Willing to take him to 18. And then that leaves me some sort of spillover for who? Cam Whitmore? Sure. Remember, 219 total. This is Minnesota, the number 1 defense, 20th in pace. Houston is the number 7 defense, 18th in pace. 108 implied total for Houston. Terrible. Edwards, because he has the MPE, you could entertain that. 7,200 for Towns. You could entertain that. Gobert's okay. But it's just a lot of no way this is a priority. For Houston, Şengün and VanVleet are your only options to me. I don't know how you go anywhere else. It's just a terrible DFS matchup. We're cruising here, folks. We are cruising. This is, I believe, the final game for the FanDuel slate. That would be Clippers 1-point favorites in New Orleans, 229 total. Now, for the Clippers, everybody's available. For the Pels, we once again have the Q tag on Trey Murphy. So we got 35 for Harden. We got 36 for Kawhi. Everything else here looks about right. Tice played 20. Zubats played 27. Guess I could bump Tice back up a little bit. The Pelican side, we just got to put Trey Murphy in again for the 100th straight day. I really hate these Q tag guys that don't play a couple days in a row, but you got to keep re-projecting them in. So I'm going 34 CJ, 35 BI, 32 Zion. Man, oh man. I don't know, 24 for Joval. 22 for Nance. We get Trey Murphy. I assume just coming back and playing 26 minutes. You would think. Let's get Herb Jones in for his 29. And now the rest of this is pretty easy. We give Alvarado some backup run. We hook Najee Marshall up with 14 minutes. Hide a little bit more on Dyson Daniels. Now, Ron, this is not what I want at all. No one listened to me the way that I wanted them to listen to me. I never should have said a damn thing. I don't want them to cut all the games to 8. I don't even want DraftKings to drop the 10 o'clock games today. I just want the one individual game 2 hours after. We had some slates where it was 8:30 start, 10:30 final game, or 8 o'clock start, 10 o'clock one final game. That's the only one I wanted to get rid of. The stuff they're doing now, I don't want. All right, if you're going to the Clippers, it's Kawhi first. Probably Harden and Zubats and Paul George in the same group. On the Pels, it's BI, McCollum, Zion. But again, no priorities. Man, this slate has been difficult. I'm quite confident that Portland is not going to make this look any better. The Portland Trailblazers. Whoops. The Portland Trailblazers. Let's save this, by the way. There we go. Are 10.5-point dogs in Dallas. They have no Ayton, no Moses Brown. Doubtful tag now on Jabari Walker. So are we about to get like the real Ibu Baji experience, or are they going to play Jeremy Grant at the 5? So last time out, they played Baji 15 minutes. Oh yeah, they have Ish Wainwright too. Reith played 6. I know. Oh yeah, Reith got ejected, right? He got a flagrant. Jabari Walker played 17. Ish Wainwright played 17. Fuck this team, man. God damn. All right. I need to look at that rotation and see what they did with the guards. So this is just running back the exact same game, too. Fantastic. So we got Scoot starting. I'm going to assume that he does that again. He played 32 minutes. That seems like a realistic amount of time for him to play today. And then we get Anthony Simons. Came back, played 27. Didn't close, but the game was over. If he closed, he gets to 30 or 32. I feel comfortable going to 32. Then we got Kamara. He played 20. I will not project him for anywhere more than 20 minutes. Jeremy Grant, I think by default, is just going in there for 34 or 35. Now we have our trivia questions. Do they, like... I mean, they gave Wap Reith 3 and... Oh, he picked up 3 fouls there, and then picked up his 4th, and that was the end of him. Okay. They're going to play all of them, right? They're not going to just... They don't give a shit. If they started Ibu Baji last time, then there's no reason they're not going to start him again. So I think we go 16 to Baji. Now, no Jabari Walker matters. But all that did was unlock, I guess, Ish Wainwright once Jabari Walker left. Oh, I didn't realize they started Jabari Walker in the second half either. All right, I think they start Ibu Baji. I actually think 16, 16, 16. I don't want to say is right, but I think it's the thing that makes the most sense. I hate this so much. So much. All right, let's get Matisse Thybulle in for his 24. And now we just have to finish this off with Shaedon Sharpe and Malcolm Brogdon. They both came off the bench. Brogdon played very limited run. Certainly could close in situations. I'm going to go 25 to Brogdon and 24 to Shaedon Sharpe. There's no way this looks good. And then for Dallas, another team whose rotation I don't trust in any way. Exum doubtful, Holmes doubtful, Q-Tag Lively, Q-Tag Grant Williams. I'm going to reproject these guys too, just to make myself sane. So we're going to get Lively 27. We're going to get Kyrie 32. Luka, 36. S&P, but who does then? They're not playing. We can't. They're not projecting Reith for. They're not going to play him 32 minutes, are they? I think the best that we could do there is saying like 24 Reith, 8 Wainwright, something like that. But like if Ibu Baji is the starter, this game's dead to us. Like we can't go to those centers one way or the other then. Not without being fully ready to hemorrhage money. Can someone explain to me why Grant Williams isn't playing? Has he been bad? Like, I haven't looked into it, but I didn't expect him. Like, I figured he'd be. He's been he's been really bad. Never mind. Yeah, S&P. In that situation, I think Grant was out. So there was a day where Reith played 32. No Ayton, no Shaedon Sharpe. And we got 14 out of Moses Brown. So we did get basically that full run. But then he missed games for injury and stuff. I don't trust any of it. Which I'm quite confident you agree with. We'll get Dwight Powell in for his 12. We'll get Timmy in for 29. I certainly think they can play those guys the full 48, but it doesn't feel like they're going to play Reith that much. I hope they do. No, I don't. That's not true. I don't want them to do that. That's a bold-faced lie. I mean, like, what do we do with the rest of this team? Honestly. Okay, so Curry played in the first half. Oh, yeah, I agree there's a case in tournaments to take shots. We can't really know that until 7:30 at best anyway, or at 8 at best anyway. Like, until we know the starting lineup, too. Like, if we found out Reith was starting, I assume he's going to have a price tag that makes him an awesome play. But if it's Baji starting, then you are on... That journey is death. All right, we need big minutes to Derek Jones Jr. and Josh Green. So we'll get Derek Jones Jr. in for 28, 30, 29. I don't know. Then we get Josh Green in for 27 can work there. If I get 16 to Seth Curry. Is Jaden Hardy going to play? Because that dude was fully out of the rotation last time out, and they played 9 guys in the first half. But it's Portland. Who the hell knows? Blazers. Look, like Grant's okay at 7,100. Scoot's okay at 6,100. You can make a case for Ibu Baji at 3,600. Or Reith at 4K. Simon's at 7,800. There's like a wild card scenario there. But we need to know the starter. It's so hard right now. For Dallas, if you can find the salary for 11.6 Luka Doncic, don't be afraid to do that. $5,600 Derek Lively is at least a little interesting to me. Guessing I have his points projection way too high. Derek Lively doesn't have one. 34.5 to Luka, 24.5 to Kyrie. Bump that Kyrie rate up a little bit. Kyrie and Josh Green both totally fine. 2 games to go. Orlando at Denver. I can't imagine a chance we're playing anything here unless multiple dudes are out. And I believe multiple dudes are out for Orlando. Wendell Carter Jr., questionable. No Fultz, Harris, Ingles, Isaac, or Franz Wagner. So, yes, we've got a hell of a day ahead of us here. When did Franz get hurt and who started playing for him? That's the question. Orlando lost to Sacramento by 3. That went to double OT. Franz went down in the first quarter. Caleb Houston started the second half, as did Trevelyan Queen. Trevelyan Queen was the first guy off the bench. Obviously. With no Cole Anthony in that one. All right, let's figure this one out. So we're gonna get Goga starting. What, 24 minutes? And then we get Wendell Carter Jr. in for 20. And then we get Mo Wagner in for 14. Paolo straight away in for 36. We get Suggs for 30. All right, no Harris, Ingles, Isaac, Franz. Are they going to start Caleb Houston? Ugh. God, this sucks. Are they going to start Cole Anthony and Caleb Houston? Is that the most likely scenario here? Or do they go back to Anthony Black? None of this is fun to hash out. All right, so let's get 18 minutes to Anthony Black plus another 8. We'll take him to 26. I think we take Caleb Houston. I think Caleb Houston plays 28 minutes. I think Cole Anthony plays probably 26, 24, 26, something like that. I think Chuma Okeke is going to get a pretty sizable chunk of run. I mean, Chuma Okeke played the whole OT. It was Banchero, Suggs, Trevelyan Queen, Anthony Black, and Chuma Okeke. How did that game go to double OT? Give me 1 second here, guys. Give me 1 quick second. Something's going on weird with my sheet, so I got to open it up and close it again. All right, there we go. I'm just going to go those other 14 minutes to Queen. Now, we definitely need to think about rates. Do we have Orlando rates yet? Or props yet? We do not, which is also not that surprising. So let's go ahead and hunt down what some of these rates look like when Franz Wagner is off the floor. Let's take Franz off. I'll take Fultz off as well. I don't have to take anybody else. And we want to make sure that Banchero, Suggs, and Anthony all played. So, Paolo Banchero has played 235 minutes with Franz Wagner and Markelle Fultz off the floor, and in games where Suggs and Anthony are at least active. 34% usage rate. Now, I will not go there, but I will go to 32. Cole Anthony in 254 minutes, 26.5% usage rate. I'll go to 25.5. Suggs is at 21, so he's just himself. And then Goga, I can't imagine is any different than he normally is. Does the assist rate for Paolo Banchero change? Not even in the slightest. Rebounding change? Nope. Not really. The problem is it's Orlando in elevation, so terrible place. Now Denver's on the back-to-back. I'm not touching their rotation. We're just going with whatever they did yesterday. It's Denver. If you're ever going to do that, that's the way to do it. Big minutes out of Aaron Gordon, though, is interesting. But let's go to let's evaluate this one now. Orlando. Is Trevelyan Queen really not in the salary file? This dude played. Trevelyan Queen played. He was the first guy off the bench for the Magic. He's not even in the salary file today. How is that even possible? Only guy I like on Orlando is Paolo Banchero. Denver's 10th in defense, 28th in pace. I don't see myself playing anybody else from the Magic. On the Denver side, you want to go to Jokic, go for it. He will look worse than Joel Embiid. There's certainly no shortage of pay-up options. The only other guy that I really want from Denver would be Murray. Reminder, Orlando, 4th in defense, 14th in pace. Probably a little bit worse just because of Franz being out, but I don't have any interest in this game. We close it out with a game that I can't imagine I have too much interest in, but who the hell knows? Miami Heat, they're a different team every day. They are 3.5-point dogs in Phoenix, 229 total. Miami has no Butler, no Highsmith, Caleb Martin doubtful. So let's figure this one out. I've got 36 minutes for Bam. Actually. Okay, so this is going to be like the last two games. I want to pull that rotation, which let me know if you guys know if it's the Jamal Cain day today, which I don't think it is, or the Nikola Jovic day today, which it seems like it is. Jovic got the start at the 4. Played starter run, didn't close because the game was mostly over. We're going to go ahead and get Kevin Love. So he played backup center and had no problem playing alongside Bam. So we're going to get him up to 22 minutes. Yeah, Kane didn't play because Jay Rich was back. We'll get Kyle Lowry in for 26. No, that's not right. He played 26. So he was clearly on pace to play more. I'm going 30 to Kyle Lowry. Hero played 28 and did get a little bit of run late. I don't have a clue why. 34. We can give Jovic. I mean, he played 28 minutes in 3 quarters. There's no Haywood Highsmith and no Caleb Martin. I'm going 28 to Jovic. I don't know why I wouldn't. Jaime Jaquez is just going straight in for 37. Duncan Robinson off the bench, probably what, 26? 28? Now who's left? Jay Rich for 25. Do we have props? Heroes at 23.5 to the over. Bam's at 21.5. That's fine. Jaquez at 15.5. That's fine. I'm good with everybody else here. What's the assist prop on Hero? 4.5? All right. Bam's at 4.5. Okay. Jaquez is at 3. Okay. Phoenix side of this one. Q tag on Durant, Q tag on Eric Gordon, Q tag on Nas Little. So I got to get Durant back in, which means we got to cut this entire rotation and rebuild and then re-rate everybody. Do we have props on these guys? Booker, Beal. We don't have one on Durant, but that's fine. Alrighty. Phoenix, closing it out. Final one. Booker. Booker. 36. Beal, 35. Nurk, 28. You get Metu in for like 14. Wonder if they keep Bol in the rotation. Man, they have no idea what they're doing at center, huh? 28, 14. 36 to Durant. And then we get Eric Gordon for 28. We get Grayson Allen for 32. Josh Okogie. And do they go Keita Bates, Diop, or Bol? That is the question. Phoenix's last game was a 9-point loss to the Clippers. Keita Bates, Diop, first guy off the bench. Bol played a lot of garbage time. So we're going to go Keita Bates, Diop for what? Actually, do I need to give... Let's do this. 6 to Azubuike. That leaves me 13. We'll go 12 Keita Bates, Diop, 13 Josh Okogie. All right. Points props for the rest of these guys. Booker is at 26.5, juice to the over. Bradley Beal is at 20.5. We're good. So then I can keep KD there. Nurk is at 13.5. So good. I got my rates. Miami. It's Nikola Jovic season if you think he's playing 28 minutes. I'm going to get slightly more pessimistic there. But they legitimately don't have a lot of places to put those minutes. So I wouldn't be... If they did it last time, I don't know why they wouldn't do it again. $4,400 Nikola Jovic is probably the best value play we've seen. Bam and Jaime Jaquez are both okay options. Phoenix is Booker for me, and that's about it. Maybe a little Beal, but that price is way higher than it was before. But now, we run our crunches. So hit that like button if you have not done that yet, because we are running our optimals for the final time this week. There we go. First one up. DraftKings Optimal. What do we have? $265.3. That is 1/10 of a point above the second lineup. Halliburton, Bridges, Mikal Bridges, Josh Green, Isaac Okoro, Isaiah Jackson, Donovan Mitchell, Nikola Jovic, Derek Lively. That is probably too much Isaiah Jackson. I don't really want that to happen. But I only have him at 15 minutes, so there's not much else I can do. Donovan Mitchell was in all 50 lineups, as was Nikola Jovic. Mikal Bridges was in 84%. Turner and Lively both in the 60s. Jalen Johnson, Josh Green both in the 50s. If we slap on some randomness, I fully expect Nikola Jovic to run directly to the top of this list. Nikola Jovic by a mile. Jordan McLaughlin. Yes, Jordan McLaughlin and Donovan Mitchell are next up. Josh Green and Miles Turner round that out. Jaden Springer also popping up at the top. We don't have enough value yet. On an 11-game slate, we are still getting to some real trash options to start the day. Now, FanDuel, reminder, only 8 games. I mean, they were up a bundle, though, no? That was to you, S&P. I mean, it was an 16-point game starting the fourth. I guess they left him in, but like, did it get close? They went on a 12-2 run and then a 12-6 run late. But they never really like cut it. I think they just maintain that heater. It does. None of it matters. If Durant is back, Bol-Bol's not playing dick all of minutes that we care about. Okay, FanDuel, reminder, only 8 games. This is a very, very different slate than what we just looked at for DraftKings. Optimals on FanDuel, 283.41. That is the optimal by 0.32. Jordan McLaughlin, Trae Young, Isaac Okoro, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Kyle Kuzma, Cam Johnson, Jalen Johnson, Sadiq Bey, Miles Turner. Grab yourself some Hawks. 98% to Jalen Johnson, 92 to Trae Young. Okoro in the 80s. Bey, Avdia, McLaughlin, Richards in the 60s. Bogdan Bogdanovic in the 50s. Our final piece, randomness. I expect this to be pretty flat on FanDuel. And it is. Obviously, the top guys that you can get to have the names like Isaac Okoro and Jordan McLaughlin. Bogdan Bogdanovic, Jalen Johnson, and Sadiq Bey rounded out. And that is our week, folks. Another week in the books. It's been a good week. Hope you guys had some fun. I'll be back on Sunday morning. I don't know what time. Sometime in that like 8:30, 9 range. What do we have? What are we looking at here? for a what's the word I'm looking for? For the Sunday slate. What do we have? Sunday. If the 6 o'clock games are included, we have 7 games. If they started at 7:30, we've got 5 games. So I will see you guys on Sunday morning for another edition of the Contenders. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend.